Now we're going live. Setting up meeting. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. That's it. We figured it out. Excellent. Okay, let me make sure we don't pop up in the background and have double voices. Welcome, Nick Killpack. Thanks for sitting down with me on Essential Stories. I'm excited to kick off this podcast, and you're my first guest, which makes
Ooh,
it, yeah, right, which makes it
OG
so much
guest right here.
more fun. I think it's really appropriate because in a lot of ways you were my first introduction to doTERRA, so that makes a lot of sense that you would be the first guest to tell your essential oil story here on the show. So that's great. But I thought instead of making this kind of a typical conversation that we'd start out with something fun. If you're up for it, we're going to play a little game called
Okay.
Would You Rather? And then
Okay.
we will give our audience time to jump in. Although if they're missing this part, they're probably going to miss part of the best part of the show anyway. But
They'll miss the part where I directed planes down the runway as we're
there we go.
talking here with these headphones
Exactly.
on. They're like, what is this
Exactly.
clown doing with the headphones? I'm locked in. I'm dialed, folks.
You're ready. All right. So first question. Would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella or a
Oh,
pool full of
yes.
maple syrup?
Oh, Nutella all day, every day. Drown
Every
me in Nutella. Fun fact, I don't love
Okay.
maple syrup. I have to really, really be in the mood for maple syrup.
Not a maple
Imitation,
syrup guy.
real deal, whatever it is, if I smell it sometimes, I'm even like, mm-mm. I don't like
So
my bacon dripped in it.
pancakes, no
I'll just
pancakes.
do butter and powdered sugar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm weird about maple syrup.
I'm learning. See, this is why we ask these questions. This is good.
Exactly.
Who wants a resume? And by the way, if you want to see Nick's resume or find out how to get a hold of Nick, we're going to put that in the show notes. So you'll be able to get a hold of him and get all the details. But question number two, would you rather work under the hot sun or extreme cold?
That's a great question. And I'm going to say I would rather work in the hot sun. I enjoy being outside in the yard, all things green and that kind of stuff. And I don't like being cold. I
No
just,
cold.
even
Uh,
though when you work in the cold, sometimes you heat up. I
yeah,
still
not
feel
enough.
like your fingers and your toes are frozen.
Not enough. I'm
Give
with
me,
you on
give
that
me the
one.
heat. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to continue with the cold kind of environment. Would you rather stay in during a snowy day or build a fort?
Like build a snow fort.
Yeah,
Uh, because I have kids, I'm going to go with the fort
the fort.
if there's enough snow. I don't want to be scrimping and scraping and digging up the grass and getting mud all over our snow fort. I want substantial snow to confirm that my commitment to building the fort was the correct commitment. If I
Okay.
have to go out and I'm like trying to borrow the neighbor's snow, then I'm staying in. But if I
Okay, fair
have
enough.
18 inches to 2 feet, let's fort it up. In fact, the
Love it.
last two snow seasons, the last year was the biggest snow season of my life in Utah.
Oh,
We had over 94 feet of snow fall in the season, and
okay.
my house got a lot. So I actually built an igloo for my kids by myself while they were at school once. That's how dedicated I was to it. This year, my kids wanted me to recreate it. We've got about a third of the amount of snow, so not quite the same igloo. But last year, I threw my back out pretty much and had a great time building my own igloo in my backyard.
I love that. I think you have to put a picture of the igloo in the comment section.
Okay, I
I'm
will.
thinking we
As
need
long
one
as
of those.
I don't need people to judge my igloo
No, no
making
judgment.
skills because it might be like a egg shaping igloo. I don't know. It's not great, but if I can find it, I'll do it.
I'm not sure how many Nordic architects watch the show, but
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see
All
what
right.
comes with the comments. Okay,
Yeah.
next question. Would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out during the night?
During the day.
During the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for like the golden hour. I just think it prepares me for the night ahead of fun, whether
Okay.
that's dinner, drinks, a movie, a sports game, going to a show. I like the evening stroll at night through the
Right.
city, that kind of stuff. I really dig that.
Okay. All right.
You can,
And the
but you can
last,
take the day traffic and all that stuff and
forget
just,
it.
yeah, forget it.
Okay. That's probably true. I was thinking it'd be nice to be in the sun, but I understand where you're coming from. All right. A last one. Would you rather have a personal chef or a personal maid?
Chef all
Chef.
day. So easy because I'm tidy. Now, my wife's not here to argue this point.
Okay.
So, but I would say that I am a tidy person, maybe not a deep cleaned person, but I put it away exactly where I got it out 5 seconds ago. As soon as I'm
Okay.
done using it, it goes back in the spot. So the need for somebody to pick up my stuff, not that necessary. Do I need help eating better? 100%. And do I struggle with getting creative there? Absolutely. So I'd take the chef all day.
Okay. Awesome. So if anyone wants to get you something for a holiday gift, personal chef might
Yeah,
be an appropriate gift.
absolutely. Send them over.
All
Send
right.
them
I love
over.
it. Okay. So now we're going to get to the sort of the nitty gritty part of the podcast, which is how people came to be even introduced to essential oils, right? And then expanding from there, all of the products in the world that contain essential oils. And then just sort of where that led in your life as much as you can in a short amount of time. But the kickoff question is, what was your first memory, if you can remember that far, of using an essential oil? Do you remember what it was?
I do.
Okay.
It was a blend. So I was in college,
Okay.
just about ready to graduate college, and I had never really used natural products at all. Did I know what they were and a little bit about them? Sure. I knew about supplements and people take various herbs for this, that, or the other. Did I ever dive down into that hole? Absolutely not. And so I had struggled with indigestion for some time, and I was living with a sibling of mine. And one day she had recommended a blend of essential oils, ginger, peppermint, fennel, anise. And she said, for a upset stomach, just put this on your hands, put it over the area of your stomach that hurts, and count back from 10. And let's see where you go. And I vividly remember it like it happened 3 minutes ago. And I did it and I counted back from 10 and I thought, this is so weird. And when I got to 0, my stomach ache was not going away, it was gone.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a weird coincidence, like it's probably was going away anyways, and kind of shelved it at that. But
Yeah.
I vividly remember it. And I didn't dig deeper. I was just like, all right, well, it worked that one time and we kept it surface level and she didn't push it too much. That was my first
Okay.
experience.
So then, somewhere between that moment of your life, right, and you entering the world of doTERRA essential oils, there must have been what I call a gateway product. So, what was your gateway product? Like, what opened you up to the world of doTERRA and you said, oh, I want to be part of this?
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer that in two parts. I hope
Okay.
that's okay. Same
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
sibling, same sibling, same story. And that is after having the success with the blend of oils on my stomach. Uh Fast forward a few weeks, maybe a month or two, and she introduced a probiotic to me. And she said, basically, this is kind of how it works. Seems like you struggle in digestive space. Why don't you start trying this and seeing? And to me, that seemed more natural than the liquid brown bottle thing, right? Because I didn't really know anything about it, but people take supplements all the time. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll try. And when I tried them, within like 48 hours, I could feel a complete shift in my GI tract.
Wow.
I mean, a significant shift. That was again in 2007.
Okay.
I have taken a probiotic pretty much every single day since then. That's how committed I am to it. So when it comes to like, what was your gateway and what was the,
Yeah.
my first step is continually my same step today. Like I literally still take that product today. That's how committed I am, and that's how much it changed my life. So that was kind of like my real cementing into natural space.
Hmm.
But to me, doTERRA came that really kind of shook me. Not, I don't want to say shook me, but like wowed me.
I like
was
that.
deep blue rub. So
Okay.
it was okay, we have these brown oil bottles and we use these essential oils for various things, right? But now you've given me something tangible that uses this essential oil that I am familiar with, lotion or a cream, right? Like, fill in the blank for the alternatives that we could suggest that are similar to Deep Blue, right? Deep Blue Rub.
Right.
And I was like, I get this product. This product makes sense to me. And so that was like a big introduction. And at that time, none of the other people in the natural space, to my knowledge, had a product like that. They may have had similar products in the oil space, as far as I knew, in the cream incorporating the oils, that they didn't have that product. And so to me, that was like a big game changer. And then not to be like man versus woman, but like guys just complain a lot about like back pain or shoulder neck pain. I know that women have it too, but it seems like the people that I was running with a lot at that time, whether it was playing sports at the gym or trying to get your golf swing back or whatever, dudes were complaining about it. And it felt so natural to be like, oh, this is like a product that I like, that it kind of works for me, and just try it out, like throw it in your golf bag and see. And it was super easy to do, to just start to talk about it because it was such a natural fit.
Yeah. So it seems to me like you didn't have a moment where you said, these are products I like for myself and they're great, but if I'm out in public, I don't need to talk about them. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of things in your life that you don't talk about. And I'm not for like embarrassment or whatever, but just like they're just things in my life. I don't particularly feel any, I hate this word, but like passion about them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to say because I know sometimes people have strong feelings toward shoes or clothes or cars or houses or things they use to fix their yard or whatever your passion happens to be. Essential oils seem like a really personal thing, and I think it's interesting that you said that it was something that you were just bringing with you and using, and it became a natural conversation piece. But at what point did it become more than that for you, where you were just like, this isn't something that I just want to share. It's something that I feel like I have to share.
Yeah. Uh, I was, I'll use the term slow burn. I was a slow
Okay.
burn to get to that point. So I had been using natural products for 5 years
Okay.
and not in the space of looking for groups of people to share it with or trying to, just like exactly what I just described. I went out golfing with somebody, their back hurt, try this. Oh, you have a digestive problem too? Try these supplements, right? Like it was just so, and you'd come over to my house and you'd leave with a little bag full of whatever the heck I wanted to give you. That was the first 5 years into it. Now, I know my story is relatively unique, maybe to most people who have gotten involved with doTERRA and started to build a business, but I worked for doTERRA, as you know,
Yeah.
and I saw that what I was doing for doTERRA and what I could do for myself were essentially parallels on the same line, in the same trajectory, going in the same direction. The one parallel was that I had a boss and an office, and I was told what to do and when to do, and it was great. And then the other parallel was I could be my boss. I could work from home. We recently had a baby at that time, and so I was a brand new dad for the first time, and I wanted to spend more time at home. And so I kind of looked at it from a calculated perspective, and I said, can I do what I've been doing, teaching people about these natural products, being genuine in my suggestions and recommendations, but can I do it for myself instead of for the company? And after discussing it with my wife, figuring out how to do that, I had to go to doTERRA and I just said, I love this company so much, but I think I'm going to leave it. And I have to say that to one of my boss, who is one of the founders of the company. And
Yeah.
they are upset about it. And then in the same conversation, I said, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just becoming a wellness advocate. And then the conversation completely changed. And it was, wow, like I'm so happy that you're not going anywhere. And how can we support you? Because this is a huge thing for us to give, not give you up, but kind of give you to the field when we have, this is kind of what we had planned for you, but we
Right.
can see that your passion maybe lies in a slightly different space in our same room here. We're in the same room, but in a different area of the room. And then it start like at that moment, the collaboration started to happen for, well, what needs to happen? One, for this transition to go down, for you to get out into the field and start building your own business. And two, to backfill your position and to figure out where we go from here. At that time in doTERRA, corporate events, for those people who have been around doTERRA for a while, corporate events, when you hosted one in your town, you got one of the 7 owners or me. So
Right.
there wasn't a team, a sales team of people that came out or supported you on the back end. It was just a pretty lean operation. So I was leaving a bit of a hole departing the way I departed. And so I wanted to make sure that that hole was fulfilled and correctly done in the right time, so that then I could go out and focus in on finding people.
Yeah.
Sorry for the long-winded answer. You're like,
No,
stop.
it's so good. So you've been in this for a while. It wasn't a short-lived, it wasn't a spark, right? It didn't, you didn't go, oh, I'm going to try this and then it burnt out. Like this actually has become your full-time focus and it has become a real stream of income for your family, right? This has been in a gift in itself that kind of came back. You gave out to people, right? And it has come back and enriched your life. So if you can think of a story, can you think of a story between you and someone that you've helped with any doTERRA product, doesn't matter, it could be a supplement, could be whatever, that really touched you, that stays with you, that maybe keeps motivating you forward because you know that if you stopped tomorrow, that there might be someone else just like that person waiting for your help. And if you stepped out of the space, they may not hear about something that was life changing. Can you think of a story like that?
So in our space, I have been doing this for a little while, as you know.
Yeah.
I've been building the business since 2013. So, going on 11 years. And through that whole cycle, we've been through some best of times and some worst of times, to be 100% honest, right?
Yeah.
Because part of the growth of building a business for any entrepreneur, if you're building a lemonade stand or if you're building car dealerships or if you're building a direct sales marketing group, there's going to be peaks and valleys, and you're going to be able to hopefully ride some good momentum. And part of that momentum and part of those valleys where we have to be careful what we talk about. So I'm going to keep this as a broad answer to your kind of
Oh, okay.
specific question.
Yeah, we don't want
And,
to give
and I
out
and I say that
medical.
with
We're not
I
giving
say
out
that with
medical
context.
advice, right? We're not. That's not
So
the point. Is sort of like who did you help, and what is that special person, and you can leave them anonymous too, and be as general
yeah,
as you want.
I'm going to do direct circle of influence and indirect circle of influence.
Okay.
Okay, so direct circle of influence. So I'm going to classify that as people who I've connected with in the last 30 days and who are members of my family. So close friends, maybe a neighbor, uh, those are direct influence. I have worked with and suggested and helped people adopt so many new good routines involving doTERRA products. Okay. What are those routines, Nick? Let me just give you a basic one that's not going to get anybody in trouble.
Okay.
The practice of regularly brushing your teeth and using mouthwash. Okay? Maybe not everybody does one or does the other, right? But
Okay.
there's an important reason to do both, right?
Sure.
Not only are you going to kill bad bacteria and gingivitis and plaque and all of those other things, there's a good reason for it. That's a safe one that we can say that I've been able to talk to people about why you would want to do both. Why you would maybe consider somebody who probably wears deodorant every day, trying an alternative or a natural deodorant. Why? Well, we could talk about some of the uh, adverse effects from using the stuff that you use, whatever it is, or maybe just the pro effects of trying something different and giving your body an opportunity to react differently. So directly, those people close to me, I've had a lot of those types of things without diving into the deep of any of the trigger bad words that we have to be careful to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
But the indirect circle is the maybe the one that I'm more proud of. And the indirect circle is when I get the opportunity to travel around, both here in the United States and outside internationally to our groups in Asia and Europe and Latin America, and Canada. I've been to all of these places, Africa, to talk about essential oils and talk about my passion. And I think back to the decision that I made in very, very late 2012, like December 2012. I think I want to do this. My one decision and the ripple effect on how it's had on not 100 people or 1,000 people, but quite literally tens of thousands of people because I made one single solitary choice to do it. Would those people have come into doTERRA otherwise? Perhaps. We don't know how that story would have played out. But
Right.
to me, like the gratification that that brings to me is that was a choice that I made. And you talk about like a rock that you throw into a pond that creates a ripple that essentially could go on forever, as big as the pond is, right?
Right.
That's how I feel our team has grown. And, that it just continues to expand and grow. And I love that because whether you have used a product one time and you signed up on our team, and it was just kind of a one and done, or if you're a regular customer, like there was a decision that you made based off of a decision that I made, and I believe that both of those decisions were the right decision.
I love that. I love
So
that perspective. That's beautiful. All right. Well, Nick, I know that you've inspired at least one other person today. And I know that it's actually exponentially more. And what's beautiful is hopefully this story will stay on YouTube and people can come and listen to this and be inspired by it for a really long time. But we don't want to take up too much of your time. So we're going to close with something that's a little bit fun. When I was a younger person, I used to enjoy a show called The Actors Studio. And they would kick off the show with these very special 10 questions. So I've come up with 10 questions of my own to close out our discussion today. But before I do, I just deeply want to thank you for taking the time to be here. It means a great deal to me. It's
well,
been fun, and I've learned things, which I love. Every conversation brings knowledge, and who knew we're going to have to continue this conversation later. I have
if
questions
if
about
you
things.
have me back, I'll do it.
I
I'll
know,
come
right?
back.
I have questions
Yeah.
about maple syrup, but we'll
That's a
get
whole
into
other
that
discussion.
later. But just one word or a phrase. What's your favorite smell?
Yeah, related to essential oils,
No, it can be anything. Just what's your favorite smell?
bread,
Bread,
warm bread.
warm bread. I love it.
If I could walk in the house to warm bread every day and be guiltless about going and eating it, like warm bread.
Warm bread. Love it. What's your least favorite smell?
Um, I mean, we don't need to get graphic or gross, do we? Like,
No, you can use whatever word you want to use.
I'll just say like rotten food. I
Rotten
don't like,
food.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll just go with generally rotten food.
Rotten food. There's a good one. What brings you the greatest sense of peace?
Um, Music.
Mm.
So I actually ask the question often. I know these are supposed to be short answers, but
Okay.
take away four of your five senses, and what's the one that you prefer to have last? Like, what's the one you don't want to give up? Or sight, smell, taste, whatever. And people have a hard time believing this, but to me, sound is and music it just speaks to my soul.
Mm.
It takes me to another place. I've heard artists talk about when you love a song, it takes you back to that chapter or area or time in your life that you were, and so it kind of transports you in a way. So for me, peace when I'm really sad or melancholy, I'll listen to music that brings me like put me in that mood. Or when I'm baking and I want to cook, I'll listen to jazz music. And just when I just want to go out with my buddies, then I'll throw on some country or some hip hop or whatever. Like it really drives my soul. And so to me, that's what brings me happiness.
I love it. I love it. What irritates you the most?
Um,
What gets on your nerves? What triggers you?
yeah. just close the cabinets after we're in there. Just close them. Just when you're done, you looked in, you didn't see what you needed, or you saw and you got what you wanted, and then just this action. Let's just close that door. Okay, that's all we need to do. Make sure that drawer tucked in all the way. Is there a sock blocking it? Let's push the sock down. Close that drawer.
I love that. I love that. All right. What's your favorite character trait in a human being?
Kindness.
Kindness.
Um, as a dad, or as a, I'll just relate as a dad. When I can see my kids being kind to one another, it's just like so gratifying, more gratifying than anything. And then when I see the opposite, it's so infuriating because that's not what we practice.
Yeah.
And so when you see the kindness transpire and you're like, okay, like we're making progress in life, right? Like they are doing the right thing. It just is massively gratifying to me.
Oh, that's beautiful. What's your favorite guilty pleasure?
I got a lot. I mean, ice cream is pretty high on that list of things. Yeah, probably ice cream.
That's a good one. All right.
All hours of the day. You want to have ice cream for breakfast? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's,
So
you
I
know,
may know the answer to this before I ask the question, but what is the last food you'd like to eat before you die?
I got a whole meal planned out. This is
Oh,
easy.
wow. Oh,
Okay, I call it my death row inmate. So make if I ever make a serious mistake and they give me the final meal, and they're like, well, what are you going to have? So you don't have to give me the menu, but you do have to give me the restaurant. So it's going to be from Ruth's Chris. We're going to start the meal with appetizer of seared ahi. It's got this it's so unbelievable. I don't even need to describe it. If you've been there, then you know. We're going to start with the seared ahi. Then we're going to go to the main course, which is going to be a sweet potato casserole with this amazing nutty crust top. So good. And some asparagus. We're going to have an 11-ounce filet that's medium. And then we're going to finish the meal with a berries and cream dessert that I would swim in if they would make it appropriate.
I love that. I love
So there it
that.
is, my final meal.
Your final meal.
My final meal.
And may it not come soon. That's all I
No,
have to
I
say.
well, it at least comes twice a year on my birthday and on our
Okay. Well,
anniversary.
yeah,
I'm
it
like,
should come soon, but not you shouldn't have to
yeah,
die to get it. Let's
I'm
just
not
put
gonna
it that
die to get it. No.
way. Exactly. You might be dying to get it, but not die to get it. If you had a magic wand, what illness or disease would you eradicate first?
This is nothing crazy or out of the box, but just because it affects so many of us and will likely affect most of us is probably cancer, just on all levels.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
If we could get rid of it, I think it wouldn't solve all of our problems, but it would sure solve a lot of problems.
Absolutely. That's a good one. If I gave you $500 and you could spend it on one thing, okay, so you can't break it up, one thing as a chunk, what would it be?
Um, I don't like objects.
Okay.
I'm a minimalist, so I would spend it on an experience. And to
Okay.
dovetail back into music, I would buy great seats to a show, great seats to a concert.
Love it. Okay. And our last question for the day. What one word would you like to give the audience as a parting gift?
One word. Um, all right.
All right.
I love this TV series, and it's made me rethink the word. And if you've seen the series, then you'll understand it. But the word is believe. Believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your family, believe in your partner, believe in your faith, believe in your business, believe in your products, believe in your life. Like there's so many levels of belief. Comes from Ted Lasso if you haven't seen it, and you see it and you learn it and you start to share in the idea of believe. All the things, but I think believing is pretty cool.
That's beautiful. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
me, Nick Killpack.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been a
This has
lot of fun.
been
Let's do
fun.
it again.
Let's do it again.